So in this video, I will be expanding on something which I did mention in my massive rant video, which I will leave a link to in the description or in the top right, or if I haven't done that, then you can find it in my, on my channel page. It is 42 minutes long, so it is quite easy to spot from the rest of my videos. So this is something which I have been hearing quite a lot from quite a lot of different people, and that is the fact that, oh, the Switch, it hasn't learned from the Wii U's mistakes. Well, I don't necessarily agree with that, and I did actually touch upon this, like I said, in my rant video, but I feel like I can expand on this further. So I feel like Nintendo have learnt from the Wii U in terms of the Switch and in terms of the concept. With the Wii U, you couldn't take your Wii U gamepad anywhere. You couldn't take it anywhere out on the go. You were limited to the off TV play. You had a limited range for that. So I think one way that Nintendo learned from the Wii U is that they had every single element, like every single hardware component inside of the tablet bit, and not like the Wii U where you had very limited processing power in there, you had very little components in there. The rest of it was, or the most of it was actually in the console itself. But with the Switch, the console is the tablet, so you can actually take your games anywhere and play them out on the go. The Switch definitely feels like a Wii U 2.0 in that aspect. It definitely does feel like that the Switch is what the Wii U should have been. So I definitely feel like Nintendo learned in terms of the general concept of the Switch. I definitely feel like they did learn from the Wii U, where they now have every single hardware component inside of the tablet bit itself, instead of having the rest of it, or most of it, inside of the console, kind of like the Wii U. So they did learn in that aspect, so you can take games out on the go. So I definitely feel like they have learned from the Wii U in terms of its marketing. I feel like the Switch and its marketing and the general message that Nintendo are trying to portray with the Switch is a lot clearer than the Wii U. With the Wii U, a lot of people didn't know that it was a brand new console. A lot of people thought that it was an add-on for the Wii. But with the Switch, it is quite clear that this is a system where you can play games on your TV and out on the go. And I think it is good how Nintendo are just only focusing on that, and they're not focusing on what the Joy-Cons can do, like the motion control, the HC Rumble and that sort of stuff, just because that would end up confusing people. So I feel like the concept is clear, and that is something which we have seen in not only the initial reveal trailer, but we also are seeing it in TV adverts as well. The European advert is pretty much like the reveal trailer that we did see in October. So pretty much what they're showing off in the advert is a bloke playing Zelda on the TV, and then he has to go out, and then you see him taking the dock, or you see him taking the console out of the dock, and you see him continue to play Zelda on the bus and then on a plane. So I definitely feel like the concept is a lot clearer, and I definitely feel like Nintendo are doing a better job of conveying that concept to the consumer, a lot better than what they did with the Wii U. So that is another aspect in how I feel like Nintendo have learned from the Wii U. So you got the concept itself, how you got the main hardware components in the tablet bit itself, but also you got the concept and you got the marketing, which is also a lot clearer than the Wii U. Another aspect in how I think the Switch is learning from Wii U's mistakes is that we are getting a game a month. A lot of people are complaining at the launch window, but if you look at the launch window, you're pretty much getting a game a month, and we don't know every single game that will be coming out in the launch window, just because the launch window does include June and July, and I'm sure that we will get more game announcements for those 2 months in the next few weeks, if not at E3. So that is a lot better than the Wii U, where we had a lot of games on launch day, but after that we had a massive drought In the launch window, we had a massive drought from like January up until Pikmin 3 in August, which wasn't helped from when Rayman Legends got delayed from February to September 2013. So that didn't help the Wii U. But if you look at Rayman Legends aside, if it did come out in February, then we would have still had a massive gap from February up until the next game, which was Pikmin 3. Now with the Switch, what Nintendo are doing is spacing out their games even more to get the momentum going and to let those games breathe even more. And by them, releasing a game a month, it just means that the positivity and the hype will continue to flow. And like I said, it'll just keep the momentum flowing even more. With the Wii U, the momentum sort of stopped after the launch day, and that was it. And that was one of the reasons why, for me, the Wii U did fail to start off with. Now, with the Switch, you don't have, many old third-party games at launch, and that was a massive reason why the Wii U wasn't appealing for a lot of people. Granted, you did get games like Black Ops 2, Assassin's Creed 3, I should say, and Tekken Tag Tournament 2, which did come out at the same time on the Wii U as on the other systems, but the vast majority of third-party games did come out on the PS3 and the Xbox 360 a couple of years before. So with the Switch, you aren't getting that. The only games that you are getting that with is Steep, which is coming out in 2017, Skyrim, Just Dance 2017, and you got Skylanders Imaginators, and those two last games are launch games. And also you got Super Bomberman R, which is a brand new game for the Switch. So yeah, I guess with the Switch you don't have old third party ports, which would have been unappealing for a lot of the people that do have PS4s and Xbox Ones. But I guess the third party support in general, if you look at it at this moment in time, is looking quite weak. And I think what Nintendo have learnt from the Wii U is not to, let third parties dominate the launch. They're not just leaving a gap for third parties to launch their games in, because with the Wii U, the third parties failed in that aspect. Nintendo left them a gap and they didn't fill it. With the Switch, Nintendo's saying, you know what, third parties, stuff you. You let us down with the Wii U. You screwed us over with the Wii U. We let you have a specific time period with the Wii U, but you completely flopped. You completely failed. So we aren't going to do that with the Switch. We're just going to release our games, and we're just going to release games that suit us. We're just going to do stuff that will suit our games and will suit our system. So what they're doing is they're not letting third parties just have a specific period in the launch window, and that is why you are seeing a game a month pretty much. With the Wii U, they left a gap for third parties to fill, which they didn't. With the Switch, they learnt from the Wii U. They learnt from the fact that third parties can't be relied on, and they are taking things into account themselves, how they are releasing games on a consistent basis. They are having a steady stream of games for the Switch. They aren't just having or letting third parties have a specific period in the launch window. They're pretty much saying to third parties, if you want to release your games on the Switch, then you will have to do it against our games. You will have to do it we're not going to have a dedicated time period for you. Now I guess the summer and I guess September will be the best sort of time for third parties to release their games. You got Skyrim, that is releasing fall 2017. I guess they don't want to release their game on launch just because it will get buried by Zelda Breath of the Wild. So that is why Skyrim is releasing in fall and not in the launch window. So I'm sure you will get third parties coming out after the summer onwards. But yeah, with the Switch, they are learning from the Wii U. They aren't just leaving a specific slot for third parties now. They're just saying, you know what, third parties, you will have to release your games when there is a lull in our games. So they're not just specifically leaving a spot. They're not just relying on third parties this time around. they're just pumping out games left, right and centre, and that is something which we didn't see on the Wii U. We had like a 3 or 4 month gap in Wii U games, and that is not just in terms of the launch window, that is in terms of its whole lifespan. So what it seems like to me, from what we know at this moment in time, obviously we don't know what will be coming out in 2018, 2019 and 2020. What it's looking like for me is that Nintendo have learned from the Wii U and how droughts didn't help it in terms of creating momentum. And what they are doing with the Switch is releasing a game a month, pretty much. They're releasing games on a constant basis, a consistent basis, so that it will help to create momentum for the system. So for me, the Switch has learned from the Wii U's mistakes, and yeah, I just don't believe people when they do say that Nintendo haven't learned from the Wii U's mistakes, because all of the stuff that I've listed here prove otherwise. So that is what I feel like. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section below. Do you feel like the Switch has learnt from the Wii U's mistakes? Or are you like these other people that are, saying that Nintendo haven't learnt from the Wii U's mistakes? I think they have. I really do. I think the proof is there in the pudding, and the proof is pretty much what I've just been talking about for the last God knows how many minutes. So that is going to be it for this video, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.